What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 5 of the Millan Talk. And this episode, I wanted to talk about my experience in acting on professional sets and stage versus film. Stage acting versus film acting. You know, I remember when I used to study, there's so many videos comparing the type of acting on stage and the type of acting on film, and in their respective opinions, you know, they are right. It's an art, it's a technique, it's a skill. But let me start off by saying this again. I said it in my last episode. There are no rules. There's no rules, guys. There's no rules in anything, in any sport, in any business, in anything that you can think of in this world. There are no rules. Okay, when it comes to a profession, what it comes down to is what works and what doesn't work, right? So by saying that, let me say that for every production that I've personally gotten, there's nothing that I say I get a production for theater, for stage, and I change my process, or I get a movie and I change my process. No, I've worked out my ritual already. I've worked out how I work. I've worked out how I feel comfortable. I've worked out over the years, over the months, my own personal ritual, and for the most part, it never changes. It never changes, whether it comes to a commercial, whether it comes to a stage, a theater with hundreds of people in the audience, or whether it comes to a movie, right? So it doesn't change. My process doesn't change. What does change are speed, pace, a little bit of stress, primarily in TV and film. TV and film never goes in order. It's never continuous. It's never a first day, second day, third day. It's all over the place. End of the movie, the first day, it's all out of whack. So that being said, you need to do your homework. And there are so many technicalities with it because you're dealing with machines, you're dealing with equipment, you're dealing with lights, you're dealing with camera lenses. So when you're doing a master shot, when you're doing an establishing shot, when you're doing a close-up, when you're doing, these different type of shots and these lens, it's always good for you to know what's going on. So if they're doing a master shot, right? So you come into the set, you're doing a master shot. And the master shot calls, it's a very intense, emotional scene. Either you're pissed off or you're crying, or just a very intense scene. On that master shot, or that establishing shot, you're not gonna give it your all. I remember I used to grow up, and I used to, when I was a younger kid, I'd be like, yo, I'm gonna give it my all in every single take. What are you talking about? Please. You don't know the way I work. If it's a master shot, if it's a close-up, and they're in the other room, or whether the camera's not even looking at me, I'm going to give it my all. Now, there are some actors who do that, and kudos to them. Me, personally, I've realized that over the years, I can't just explode everything in one take. That might not even showcase what I'm really going through, right? So that master shot, so this is for film acting, for film acting. Always be aware of what shots you're doing. So if it's a master shot, do what you have to do. It's not to say half step it. It's not to say don't feel it. Do as much as you can. Your work is there. Do whatever you can to help the other actor. Now, when it's a close up, when the camera's right here, when it's just you and I right here, this is the money shot. This is where you want to release all that work. This is what you're paid to do. This is what you've been craving for, right? Because you want the audience to see what you're feeling inside, what you're thinking inside. On the master shot, they can't see it. All they see is your feet walking, or that fire hydrant in the corner, or that car pulling up. But right here, the camera's coming up close up. This is the difference between stage acting and film acting. Right? It's because you're dealing with the camera lens. So stage acting, you're dealing with a direct visual cue of people's eyeballs, of the information coming in right here. On TV and film, that information is still coming in through here, but it's already been intercepted by a camera. So really what you're working with right here is a camera, which is TV and film. So that's primarily the difference. Now for stage acting, I've realized over the years, is a beautiful thing, which is why we always see these amazing actors do these $100 million movies, and then you see them next year and they're doing a Shakespeare play somewhere in Broadway, and you're like, yo, what the heck? This guy just got paid millions of dollars to do something, and now he's doing Shakespeare, now he's doing Broadway, now he's doing some play. The reason for that is because that is our go-to. That is our foundation. That is the ultimate reality, to be able to just jump into a character, continuously experience it, scene by scene in order. That is a beautiful thing, and every actor understands that. Every actor understands that the work that goes into that. There's on a film, cut, I wasn't feeling it, or the director cuts lights, something's not in place. Good luck trying to call cut on a stage in front of hundreds of people. It's not gonna work. Right? So that's the main difference. It's a beautiful, profound experience for me personally to work in stage, to work in theater, as opposed to film and TV. I still love it. It's what I love to do. We're actors, right? No matter what the job is, I get to do a job. But the film, TV, it's a whole different animal because everything's chopped up. It's a different monster, a different space, pace, a different speed. There's so many people. On a theater, it's more, one by one scenes, more intimate. You're there with the audience. You can feel them. It just goes back to our roots as people, as storytellers. And so, the main takeaway I would say is technicalities in film versus stage. Process should not change. If your process changes, that's totally fine. Like I said, there's no rules. But for me personally, my process does not change. What does change always is the experience of what I feel, of my bonding with my scene partners in stage. It's just a different, beautiful path and a different road. And that's why we always hear of these main actors just going back to Broadway and going back to stage, because you get to work on your craft as an actor. You really get to showcase what it is you're made of. There are no cuts. There are no timeouts. There are no second chances. You got to be in this. You got to be on point. You got to be on cue. You got to be ready no matter what. And that's the beauty of acting on stage, of the uninterrupted through line of characters' lives and their stories. It's just a through line, right? So that's what I would say is my personal experience. Do I have a preference? I don't think I have a preference now that I'm thinking about it. No, I don't have a preference. What do I enjoy more? Theater. I do enjoy theater. Maybe that could be a preference, but I love doing both just so much, as actors, commercials, voiceovers, whatever. We'll do it all, right? But when you really do theater, you find the reason, you fall in love all over again of why you wanted to become an actor. So that's why we can understand when an actor does $100 million movie that he wants to get back into theater, because he reconnects with himself as an artist of why I do what I do. And that's being able to act on stage, being able to feel people's emotions, affect people, and really get that immediate response from the audience and that energy, that invisible thing that we can't feel, that we can't touch or see, but that we can feel so clearly when we feel these beautiful words, or when we hear a scream, or when we hear something, or a fight or a cry in the stage in the theaters, because it's a very powerful energy. So that being said, stage and theater will never go away. And that is my personal experience in acting for stage and acting for TV and film. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions, leave any comments. Let's have a chat. Let's have a discussion. Do you prefer theater? Do you prefer TV? Do you prefer film? What is it exactly that you're getting into this career for? What is it that you want to do primarily? And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Christopher Millan. This is Karabot back here, producer. You guys have already known from my previous episodes. Thank you guys once again. All the best. Keep rocking. Cheers.